In this particular motion, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm also aware, and I had an engagement this morning with the Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa, the former Member of Parliament for Malindi, on the question of the two-thirds gender rule, and I am aware that all our women parliamentarians have been keenly following this debate, and indeed following the work that is also going on elsewhere in the executive and with parts of our civil society. And I did attend a forum by our women parliamentarians at Radisson Blue Hotel sometime last month but one, Honorable Speaker, on this question of the two-thirds gender rule. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, as much as we did even establish the ad hoc committee, I want to plead with those members under the chairmanship of Honorable Chepkonga and the other leaders in the Senate to ensure that you now embark on the real work of ensuring that the two-thirds gender rule question is now resolved and constitutionally, and also the issue of creation of the office of the leader of official opposition. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, as the Honorable John Buddy has said, as you have said, it is time that we got good and courageous leadership in the House, leadership that will not abrogate their responsibilities by walking out of the House. We need leaders who will be able to lead the opposition and the minority side, whether they are outside the House or inside the House. And that's why I strongly support this proposal to create the office of the leader of official opposition, Honorable Speaker, because this gives the country an opportunity to hear those alternative policies and ideas that could be alternatives to the government that is in office at any particular time. And Honorable Speaker, as many members said when they were contributing to this debate, the office of the leader of official opposition is not being created for any particular individual. This is an office that is being created for posterity, to deepen and enhance our democracy, Honorable Speaker. And I want to appeal to the ad hoc committee members here and those in the Senate to indeed work with utmost speed to ensure that we get constitutional amendment bills before the House when we resume for the next session of this, the next part of this session, Honorable Speaker, of this 13th Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I did mention, the question of the two-thirds gender rule, Honorable Speaker, is something that we have tried over the years and failed almost close to 4 times. I want to believe, Honorable Speaker, now with the goodwill that I listened to as all members contributed, both here in the Senate, Honorable Speaker, that we will see the realization or the actualization of this two-thirds gender rule in this 13th Assembly. Honorable Speaker, on the question of NGCDF, I know, Honorable Speaker, and I'm aware that there are still court cases before our judiciary. And even as those go on, Honorable Speaker, it is important that we entrench our NGCDF funds in the Constitution so that in future, neither the GAF, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, NGCDF, or even the proposed Senate Oversight Fund will ever be challenged in court on the basis of those funds being unconstitutional. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, let me just join what the Speaker was saying in imploring on all of us as leaders that as much as we want to create other offices like that of the leader of official opposition, Honorable Speaker, and in line with what the Honorable Speaker has done in his ruling, asking on our minority side to put their house in order, and even our old party Jubilee, that even those of us who have, serve now in the minority and enjoy that rare privilege of leading those in the minority, and congratulate many of these members in the minority who never followed their leadership in staging a walkout. Honorable Speaker, as the Speaker and as Honorable John Buddy has said, let us lead from the front. Let us come to this House because we are paid, Honorable Speaker, by our constituents. Even those of us who are leaders, we enjoy a responsibility allowance as leaders to lead the rest of the teams, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, there is no time I will ever walk out of this chamber because I do not agree either with the Speaker or with a colleague in the minority. And even some of the issues that have been raised, for instance, by the Honorable member for, not Rarieda, the honorable member, what's her name, the lady? I've forgotten her name, Honorable Speaker. Lydian Gogo, Honorable Speaker. There's absolutely nothing with a member mentioning the Honorable Zamzam by name. My name is mentioned in this house every now and then. Every member of parliament from the minority who wants to make their name out there, in their speech, they must mention the name of Kimani Ichung'wah or the leader of majority. And I allow them, and I don't get emotional about it. I bear a lot of insults from the minority, and I take it in my stride. I want to implore on the leadership in the minority to also have the patience and the emotional intelligence to be able to deal with both the membership that they are leading and even the membership on the side that I lead. And we exercise patience and that emotional intelligence to be able to decipher what is for this floor, what is for out there in the rallies, what is for the streets, and what is for the corridors of parliament. Even as we ask that we all conduct ourselves with utmost dignity, those throwing of barbs at the speaker are things that we should never entertain, Honorable Speaker. So that even when we create this office of the leader of official opposition, we want this to be a respectable office. Whoever that leader will be, whether it is our good friend, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, whether it is our good friend, the Honorable Raila Odinga, whether it is the Honorable John Mbadi who will take up that position of the leader of official opposition, we must, or the Honorable Kaluma, or indeed the Honorable Karoli Omondi, a seasoned businessman and a respectable leader from Suba, who can lead the minority. If he takes up that position, we want to be able to hold him with esteem and respect. But respect, again, is two-way. And therefore, I want to ask that if you demand respect, you must also respect others. If you demand to be treated well, you must also treat others well. And therefore, I want to pray that as we conclude this debate on this motion, as I reply, Honorable Speaker, we will have time during the recess to have the ad hoc committee. The Honorable Chepkonga did inform me that they are scheduled to sit today. And that is why I even sought the Speaker's indulgence to reorder business so that we close this debate and allow the ad hoc committee and the other interest groups that are interested in this matter to engage on all the items from NGCDF, NGAF, Senate oversight, to the leader of official opposition, to the two-thirds gender rule. And I know, Madam Speaker, you are very keen on this. You had a bill that we indeed requested you, and you were gracious enough to allow us time to be able to debate this. And I want to assure you, Madam Speaker, that we will push this ad hoc committee to see to it that we come to realize the actualization of that two-thirds gender rule. Because this House, with all the beautiful ladies here, Honorable Speaker, and many more who would join, is richer, and our democracy is richer. Our gracious ladies, I think, exercise more emotional intelligence than many of us men who tend to be forceful and insultive at each other. But our ladies, being mothers and being our sisters, are more gracious, and therefore our democracy will only be better and richer, having more women participate in leadership positions, even as we mentor our young ladies, our young girls who come to this house, be it from Catholic University, be it those young student leaders who came from Homa Bay Town constituency, represented by the Honorable Kaluma, who, as the Speaker noted, is also serving not just as a senior leader, but also serving in the Speaker's panel. And I pray that, to God, that he will be able to emulate the Speaker. And maybe at some point in the future, he will be the first member of parliament from Homa Bay County to serve as Speaker of the National Assembly or the Senate at some time in the future. I said National Assembly or the Senate, not Homa Bay County Assembly. Honorable Speaker,
We'll put the question at the later time. So let's move to the next order.
Order
Next
number
order.
12. Order number 12, motion. Consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 26 constituencies.
We shall resume debate on this. The Honorable Joseph Makilap, member for Baringo North. Not there. The Honorable John Kiarie, member for Dagoretti.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I was very keen to speak to an earlier issue, but the matter on the floor is of concern to every member of parliament. And the issue of CDF is a matter I would like to put my voice to, because, Madam Speaker, any member here will tell you the import of this fund called National Government NGCDF. And in fact, if there is any one thing that this House should do, this House should actually take up CDF to the level of CDF 2.0. It is the Honorable Karue who brought up a fund that has become a spectacle in this country and even internationally.